Listen closely, everyone, because today is the moment everything changes. The moment you wake up to the truth is often the most painful one, but it's also the moment when your life changes forever. It's the moment you finally realize you've been waiting for the wrong people to give you what you already have within yourself. There comes a time when you reach a breaking point, a moment of brutal clarity. You've been waiting, hoping, and giving, but somehow it never feels like enough. You've invested so much of yourself, your time, your energy, your love. And for what? To be met with indifference, rejection, and neglect. For so long you believed that if you just held on a little longer, they would finally see you. But the painful truth is that they never will. They were never capable of seeing you for who you truly are, for all the things you bring into their life, for all the ways you made their world better. And yet, you stayed, thinking that somehow it was your fault, that maybe if you did more, or said more, or changed more, they'd recognize you. But when that moment of clarity hits, you see it for what it is. They never saw you at all. The moment you realize this is a wake-up call, it shakes you to your core, but it's also the first step toward freedom. In this moment, you learn a profound truth. You don't need their validation to know your worth. You've always had it within you. And the life that awaits you doesn't require anyone else to recognize it first. It begins the moment you recognize it for yourself. This realization, this clarity, becomes the foundation for the transformation that's about to take place. You've been holding on to something that was never meant for you, and now that you see the truth, you're ready to walk away and embrace what's waiting for you. It's hard to walk away when your heart wants to stay, but the moment you choose yourself, the world changes. The moment you let go is the moment you stop settling for less than you deserve. You know what it feels like to hold on too tight. You've done it for so long. The thought of walking away, of letting go, terrifies you. Your heart wants to stay. It tells you there's still time, that if you try just a little harder, things will get better. But deep down, you know the truth. It will never change. That's the hardest part. The part where you have to face your fear of letting go. Letting go means stepping into the unknown. It means turning your back on what has been familiar, even though it's been toxic. It means finally admitting that you've been living for others, waiting for them to give you something you could never expect from them. But the moment you choose yourself is the moment everything changes. By walking away, you are no longer bound by the expectations of others. You stop settling for less. You stop waiting for the approval of people who never truly saw you, people who never understood your worth. You stop giving your time, your energy, and your love to those who don't appreciate it. But it's not just about leaving them behind. It's about choosing yourself. It's about stepping into a new identity, one that values you for who you truly are. And once you choose yourself, you stop looking for validation outside of yourself. You realize that the most powerful thing you can do is stop compromising your peace for anyone who doesn't value it. You begin to see that your happiness, your worth, and your peace are yours to define, not theirs to take. They thought they could break you. They thought they could control you. But they didn't realize that every tear you shed, every wound they inflicted, was just the fuel for your transformation. After you walk away, there's a period of silence. The world feels still, and you're left alone with your thoughts, your feelings, and your pain. You might wonder, did I make the right choice? But this silence isn't your enemy. It's the beginning of something beautiful. It's the space you need to heal and transform. Because this silence is the soil in which your growth will flourish. They thought they could break you, that you were weak, or that you needed them. But what they didn't realize is that every tear you shed, every scar they left, wasn't a sign of defeat. It was the fuel for your transformation. You've been through fire. You've been tested in ways that would have destroyed someone else. But you are not someone else. You are stronger, more resilient, and more powerful than they ever gave you credit for. Each challenge, each heartbreak, has shaped you into the person you are today. The person who has learned that they don't need anyone to validate their existence. The person who has found their own strength in the midst of struggle. And now, that strength will carry you forward. You're no longer the same person you were when you were with them. You've shed your old skin, and now you rise from the ashes of your past, reborn, empowered, and unstoppable. Nothing can hold you back now. They thought they could define your life, but the truth is, you were the one always meant to shape it. The life that is waiting for you is a life that you create. And it starts the moment you stop waiting for others to validate you. You've reached the turning point. The moment when the shackles that once bound you to others' expectations have been broken. You can feel it deep within you, a new sense of freedom taking root, as though the weight of your past has been lifted. You've let go of the things that held you back. And now, the world is open to you in a way it never was before. For far too long, you were trapped in a cycle of validation, waiting for others to tell you your worth, living in their shadows. You thought that maybe, just maybe, if you gave enough, if you sacrificed enough, someone would finally see you. But they didn't. And that's where you made your mistake. You put your life in their hands, waiting for their approval, and it kept you stagnant, frozen in a reality that wasn't meant for you. But now, you stand on the edge of something incredible. The future you've always dreamed of is not a distant hope, but a reality, waiting for you to step into it. It's a blank canvas, and you are the artist. No more following someone else's path. No more trying to live up to their vision of who you should be. You're stepping into the role of the creator of your own destiny. The power is in your hands now. The choice is yours. You no longer need anyone's permission to go after your dreams, to live the life you've always imagined. You don't have to wait for someone to see your value, because you've already recognized it within yourself. You've broken free from the confines of others' expectations, and in doing so, you've unlocked your true power. Freedom is your birthright. It's the fuel that will propel you forward into the future you deserve. And the moment you stop waiting for others to validate you is the moment everything changes. You no longer settle for mediocrity. You no longer settle for relationships that drain you, for situations that hold you back. You start investing in yourself, in your growth, in your happiness, in the life that you have always been worthy of. Now, your future is a reflection of your own values, your own desires, It's not a future built on the approval of others. It's a future that's all yours. So stop waiting for the world to give you permission. The time is now. Start creating. They didn't know it was their last opportunity to keep you, but you did. And that is what makes all the difference. You chose yourself, and now nothing will ever stop you. The people who took you for granted, the ones who didn't recognize your value, they'll never fully understand what they lost. They'll never grasp the magnitude of their actions, the irreversible damage they did when they took you for granted. They didn't know that their last chance to keep you was the very moment you decided to walk away. But you knew. You knew deep inside that it was your last chance, your moment to choose yourself. And in that moment, you chose to break free. You chose to stop being the person who waits, the person who settles. You chose to walk away from everything that was keeping you small, keeping you stuck. You chose yourself, and in doing so, you took back the power that was always yours to begin with. Now, standing on the other side of that decision, you see the truth. They'll never understand, but you do, and that is what makes all the difference. You've walked away from the toxic, the draining, the ones who never saw your worth, and now you stand taller, stronger, and more resolute than ever before. You freed yourself from the chains that once held you captive. This is not the end. It's the beginning. You've done the hard work of letting go, and now you are unstoppable. You've discovered a strength within yourself that you never knew existed. You've recognized that your value doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion, that you are worthy simply because you exist. You no longer seek approval from those who couldn't see you for who you truly are. The road ahead is yours, and the only thing standing in your way now is you. When you let go of everything that wasn't meant to stay, you make room for the life that was always meant for you. And that life is one of freedom, purpose, and unshakable self-love. In the end, the greatest victory isn't about the things you've left behind. It's about the person you've become. It's about recognizing that your life, your happiness, and your purpose are not tied to anyone else's approval. They never were. When you finally let go of the things that weren't meant for you, when you chose to stop settling for less than you deserve, you made space for something much greater. You made room for the life that was always meant to be yours, one where you walk in the fullness of your own power, where you pursue your passions unapologetically, and where you are surrounded by people who truly value you. The greatest victory of all is the victory of self-love. It's the realization that you are worthy, not because of anything anyone else has done or said, but simply because you are. You're enough, just as you are. You don't need validation from others to know your worth. Your worth is inherent. It is unshakable. And when you start living from that place, when you start walking in the truth of who you are, that's when the magic happens. The life that was always meant for you isn't free from struggle. It isn't without pain or challenge, but it's a life that is defined by resilience, by the unwavering commitment to your own happiness and fulfillment. You're no longer wasting time or energy on anything or anyone that doesn't honor your worth. You're no longer compromising your peace. You are walking your own path now, one that leads to the future you deserve. A future where your dreams are no longer distant or unattainable. A future where you are the creator of your own story, the architect of your own destiny. And as you walk that path, with each step, you will be reminded that the life you've always deserved was always within your reach. You found the courage to let go of what wasn't meant to stay, and in doing so, you've made space for the life that is waiting for you, the life that is yours to create. Now, nothing can stop you. Not the people who didn't recognize your worth, not the situations that once held you back, not the doubts that still linger in the corners of your mind. You are unstoppable, and this is only the beginning.